Now, I didn't want to make this video too shilly, but I've been making videos about particular projects for a long time. And now that it's alt season, I felt like it's the right time to begin talking about the projects that I really do care about. We just had BNB almost touching $1,000, and there was an explosion in BNB. And part of what I want to do as an investor in 2025 is to spot these massive explosions before it happens. There's a giant gorilla in the room that everyone is ignoring, and that is Mantle. Mantle represents Bybit's baby.
Just like how BNB is with Binance Smart Chain.
Exactly. So I see BNB sitting at a market cap of $138 billion. I see Mantle sitting here at a mere 5. I mean, that's why we're interested. That's why we're doing this video. So anyways, guys, this is not financial advice, my personal opinion. Let's get the video started.
I'm so lucky right now, Ben is right in front of me. You know, Bybit, Mantle today. So today I want to ask him about, Ben, let's say, can you explain about in 10 seconds, why should I buy Mantle?
It's one of the largest layer 2, and now it's going to be fully incorporated into a Bybit product. I expect the fee to come in incorporating Mantle, many more utility, even on VIP tiers, everything that you expect. So I think people have a lot of expectation on the price.
So how much do you expect?
It's going to pump. It's going to pump.
It's gonna pump, man. Okay, got it.
The handsome guy there was not me, but that was my friend David, and he spoke to Ben from Bybit this year, and it's very clear that they are going all in because they know the successes that BNB brought to Binance, but you know, Mantle, they really need to bring that in. So that direct integration plus the exchange support, that's my primary argument. But before we go so far, what the hell is Mantle? I don't want to bore you guys too much with this, but it's a layer 2. It's essentially a layer that operates on top of Ethereum, but it still supports Ethereum. So I think that's key to remember here. That's part of the Ethereum ecosystem because they realize how powerful Ethereum is, which is also why I'm very big into this, because if it supports Ethereum and Ethereum's going up, you know, go figure, right? It's designed for high performance, it's a scalable modular architecture. I mean, we can go through these slides very quickly. Yet again, a bunch of tech, but you can just understand that it's kind of building and making Ethereum better and cheaper. So basically by switching onto Mantle, your fees won't be $3, they will be less than 1 cent. It's like 0.03 cents. Even if Ethereum scales well, there's still a need for it to be even cheaper.
Yeah. Because there's going to be massive amounts of transactions. We're talking millions in the
trillions. But more important, people are cheap.
Yeah.
So TLDR, it's a layer built on top of the Ethereum. It supports an entire ecosystem, and they're essentially working with other Ethereum projects like EigenLayer to make it cheaper, more resistant, and to just carry that value. So being part of the Ethereum system, you can actually search on DeFi Llama to find out how much value is being locked on there. You can see it went through a little bit of a cycle at the end of last year.
The TVL has been dropping since Trump became president, but a more important metric I would pay attention to is the DEX volume and the fees paid. 41K in the past 24 hours is pretty good for an early chain.
I think, quite frankly, it's not the strongest TVL at this current moment, because if you look at other chains, like say for example, like Base, it's got, you know, $5 billion locked up there. You know, that's an entirely different figure from 200 and 200 million. But where people might see weakness, I see opportunity. I definitely see the opportunity for them to grow. I don't see Bybit standing on the side and saying, hey, look, you know, let's let Base take all the thunder away from this, right? It's a different viewpoint from maybe a lot of people who are into the tech. But at the end of the day, it's really about the exchanges pushing it. Bybit's been aggressively listing more and more early on projects. They get more trade volume. Before, they were very focused on perpetuals trading, but now the volume on Bybit is pretty good, right? So for that altcoin kind of cycle, Bybit's in the right positioning with the right product to push that. So I'll be frank here. I gloss over the tech because I don't think that's important. I rather think that connection, the video that you saw with Ben, him having that determination to push Mantle, that's much more important in terms of what I'm kind of holding in my mind right now. Ron, you done some research on what they're delivering, so let's go on to that part.
A very big development here, and I don't think this should be overlooked, is the US government's involvement with Mantle. So it's such a big 180 because last year, when Gary Gensler was around and when Joe Biden was president, they were so anti-crypto, they don't even want to touch derivatives.
Right. So now the GDP data is going to be put onto the Mantle blockchain.
Exactly. So from now, Mantle is one of the 10 blockchains that US government has chosen to move their verified US GDP data on-chain via trusted oracles.
Cool. All right. What's the next one?
If there's one thing you need to know about Mantle in terms of institutional adoption, that is through their MI4, also known as Mantle Index 4. This is a regulatory structure that bridges TradFi with blockchain innovation.
That sounds boring AF.
But why would this be boring? This is essentially a crypto version of S&P 500.
I guess, but like, I don't know, like, we came from crypto, man. Traditional banking is boring, but you still have to work with the guys, okay? They got some money too. We want their money, okay? So, that's what, next slide.
So what supports all of these large ecosystems? It's with their institutional grade infrastructure. So they're really working overtime on making sure that the infra really supports large transfers without slippage, without any compromise. So Mantle becoming more active on chain, which means there's going to be a lot of new protocols also wanting to be a part of that ecosystem. But how do you get money on Mantle? With the new Layer 0 integration, it allows omni-chain interoperability. So you got ETH on base, I move them to Mantle, right?
Right.
Without doing extra steps and paying extra fees. And plus, it's so cheap on Mantle.
TLDR right now, if you're holding Mantle, you can stake it, which is something I've done for a while. And you can get a little bit. And I actually expect more here. So judging by how excited Mantle is, this is something that I'll look at in the next 3 months to see if there's more rewards popping up for Mantle holders. Because dude, the best way to reward a community is to pay your community. Now, about timing as well, let's take a quick look at Mantle before we do in-depth analysis on Mantle. So I would almost regard Mantle as a stable coin. As a holder since, I guess, late 2023, I got in here when they're hyping it up. I held for all this time.
Never sold.
Never sold, never touched it. You can check my Bybit account on that. But Ron's going to go in depth about the TA section.
Mantle is in all-time high right now. It reached to as high as $1.77 this week. And big explosive moves like this, there's going to be corrections at some point. So I'll keep this very short. There's only 2 structures to be aware of. We're looking at the weekly. All we do is we take the open close of the previous week. So the last time Mantle made an all-time high was in March 2024. So we only take the open close of that week. Strong magnet here. And another attempt at all-time high, but failed to break, was December 2024. So you draw here. And right now, currently where we're at in the range is we're already broken through that resistance. You can draw a box like this, extend it, and this is our classic SR flip. So if Mantle does come back to retest this key level, this would be a very ideal discount to pick up on spot. But then again, it's up to you. Are you hodling or are you trading? Zoom in on the 4-hour. This is also another level you can bid right here. So I hope that this simple trick that I do, charting key levels of just simply taking open close as the general key level, would be a good reference for you to decide if you want to buy or if you want to sell. Just remember, if you're going to be trading instead of hodling and using it in DeFi, know where your invalidation point is. Place stops below recent swing low and you're good.
That's great section, Ron. And honestly, like, I've been doing videos like this for so long, and I felt like it's just the exchange effect. I didn't see the power of the exchange effect because I was very involved in all the tech, Boxmining focusing on tech. But 2021, I saw the power of both BNB being pushed up by Binance and Solana being pushed up by FTX, right? Both these chains grew phenomenally because of the exchange connection. And we know that with Bybit moving more aggressively with incorporating Mantle, the signs are there. All right, connect the dots, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. See you next one.
Shana!